-1 oxidation state and -1/2 oxidation state it can exhibit, right? As well as it can exhibit positive oxidation states also. That is what I have given in the last class. But when it comes to -2 oxidation state, this tendency to exhibit -2 oxidation state decreases because metallic character increases. So negative oxidation states they cannot exhibit. So tendency to exhibit negative oxidation states decreases down the group, right? So they can exhibit positive oxidation states instead of exhibiting negative oxidation states. But when it comes to sulfur, it can exhibit various oxidation states. Sulfur, atomic number 16, electronic configuration, neon, 3s2, 3p4 can be given, and 3d is empty. As we know that 3d is empty, vacant 3d orbitals. So it is the ground state configuration. So ground state configuration, if you observe it, 3s is having 2 electrons, 3p is having 4 electrons, 3d is empty. In ground state, if you observe it, there are 2 unpaired electrons. So it can exhibit +2 oxidation state with these 2 unpaired electrons. If you consider first excited state, so first excited state, if you consider 3p electron promoted to 3d, then it becomes 3. It has 1. 4 unpaired electrons are there. So because of it, +4 oxidation state is possible. Now second excited state. If you observe it, is 3s electron promoted to 3d. D orbital possess total we have 6 unpaired electrons, so it can exhibit +6 oxidation state. But this +6 oxidation state is very less stable when it comes to polonium because of inert pair effect. +4 oxidation state is more stable for polonium. +4 oxidation state is more stable than +6 for polonium. It is because of inert pair effect. Due to inert pair effect. But here, if you observe it in case of sulfur, it can exhibit +2 as well as +4 and +6. All these 3 oxidation states are possible along with common oxidation state of -2 also. Is it clear? But when it comes to oxygen that cannot exhibit to +6 oxidation state, that promotion is not possible. And because of the vacant d orbitals. So in case of oxygen, so 2p electrons on excitation, they have to go to the 3s orbital. Next, whatever you get is 3s, right? So there is no d orbitals, but it is requiring high energy. If you consider oxygen 1s2, 2s2, 2p4, then 3s. This excitation requires very high energy. This is not possible. This excitation is not possible. That's why oxygen cannot exhibit higher oxidation states. That is not possible. It behaves as a divalent element only. It is about oxidation states of group 16 elements. Of group 16 elements, children. So the order of the reactivity can be given. Oxygen greater than, sulfur greater than, selenium greater than, tellurium greater than polonium. And most of these reactions, if you observe with oxygen reactions, are highly exothermic reactions. So that is the reason reactivity will be more for oxygen. They can occur spontaneously. Oxygen directly combine with almost all the metals except noble metals, right? So all the metals as well as non-metals except noble gases, and it can combine with halogens also and many compounds under suitable conditions. But oxides, whatever if they form, they are generally stable compounds. That's why reactivity of oxygen is comparatively high when it is in comparison to other elements of group 16. After oxygen, sulfur is there. It's quite reactive element, especially at higher temperatures. Why? Because at higher temperature, what will happen? SS bond, which is there now, that SS bond can break in S8 molecule. Breaking of SS bond is possible at higher temperature. That is the reason sulfur is quite reactive at higher temperatures. Sulfur is quite reactive at higher temperatures. So it is the reactivity order can be given. So that reactivity can be explained in terms of, once again, hydrides and in terms of oxides and in terms of halides. These are the three types of compounds we have: hydrides, oxides, and halides. Okay, so copy it, and we'll talk about first reaction, that is with the hydrogen. Right, reaction with hydrogen, formation of hydrides can be given. All these are the examples of hydrides. Among them, we are talking about first structure. So H2O structure, if you observe it, hybridization of the central atom is sp3, because 2 sigma bonds and 2 lone pairs. Steric number is 4. Hybridization is sp3, and the geometry shape is angular. Shape is angular. All of these hydrides are having angular shape, sp3 geometry. And now, if you observe the bond angle, so H2O, H2S, H2Se, H2T. It is having a bond angle of 104.5 degree. It is having a bond angle of 92 degree. It is having a bond angle of 91 degree. It is having a bond angle of 90 degree. So almost all of these hydrides have a bond angle of almost have bond angle of 90 degree, close to 90 degree, remaining all hydrides. So what is happening here? As size increases, down the group, obviously size is increasing. If size increases, electronegativity decreases, which I am actually marking it. Check it. These are the bonded pair of electrons. As size increases, electronegativity decreases. So bond pair of electrons goes away. Bond pair of electrons goes away. If bond pair of electrons goes away, then these lone pairs coming closer towards each other. So then what will happen? Lone pair repulsions increases. Lone pair repulsions increases. If lone pair repulsions increases, then bond angle decreases compared to the regular bond angle of 109 degree 28 minutes. That's the reason these are of having a decrease in bond angle up to 92, 91, and 90 degree. So bond angle down the group decreases. So almost remaining all of these are having a bond angle of 90 degree. What does it mean? So the orbitals which are used for bonding are closer to the pure p orbitals. Whenever they are having bond angle of 90 degree, the orbitals which are used for bonding are close to pure p orbitals can be taken. It is about structure first. Remaining properties also will be discussed. Please copy. Under that, B is melting and boiling points. Of course, very important thing. Melting and boiling points. I can write it as MP and BPs. Right? So order can be given as, for melting and boiling points, order can be given as H2O greater than H2TE greater than H2SC greater than H2S. Same order can be followed for melting point as well as for boiling point. But we know that H2TE is having high molar mass. It has high molar mass. That is the reason it has high melting and boiling point compared to other hydrates. But though H2O is having low molar mass, but it has high melting and boiling point compared to other hydrates, it is due to
intramolecular hydrogen bonding.
Intermolecular hydrogen bond. It is due to intermolecular hydrogen bond. And moreover, if you consider one water molecule, if you consider it, so this has the ability, this oxygen has the ability to form hydrogen bond with the hydrogen of another water molecule nearby. This oxygen also can form hydrogen bond with nearby water molecule. This hydrogen also can form oxygen of nearby water molecule. This hydrogen also can form hydrogen bonding with oxygen of nearby water molecule. Like that, one oxygen in water molecule can form 4 hydrogen bonds. So due to that, extent of hydrogen bonding is very high in case of water. So because of that, melting point and boiling point is very high. But when it comes to group 15 elements, NH3 we have written in the middle. BiH3 greater than, SbH3 greater than, NH3 greater than, ASH3, BH3 we have written. NH3 is also having intermolecular hydrogen bonding there, but we have not written in the first because extent of hydrogen bonding formation ability is less when it is in compared to water molecule. That's why we are writing water at the start. It is about melting and boiling points we can do. And when it comes to in this part, especially in these hydrates, they will ask about volatility also. Volatility is nothing but evaporating nature. Volatility is nothing but evaporating nature. So this volatility is inversely proportional to boiling point. Volatility is inversely proportional to boiling point. If it is having low boiling point, it is highly volatile. If it is having high boiling point, low volatile. So order of volatility can be given as reverse order of boiling points. H2S greater than, H2SC greater than, H2TE greater than H2O. So it is highly volatile. Hydrogen sulfide is highly volatile. Of course, regarding H2 and HS, there is a question also. What is that? H2O is liquid. It is NCERT question only. Wow, thank God. One sec, man. Just hold on. Okay. Right. Now, if you observe that, they will ask a question to you that H2O is liquid, H2S is a gas. This is a very important NCERT question. H2O is a liquid and H2S is a gas. Why? Because of intermolecular attractions. Intermolecular attractions, there is nothing but intermolecular hydrogen bonding is present in case of water, but it is absent in case of H2S. That is the reason H2O is liquid and H2S is a gas. Hope it is clear. Now,
can repeat the point again, sir.
Next, part D point, if you observe it, thermal stability. Thermal stability. Thermal stability, if you observe it, children, as size increases, as we go down the group, as size increases. Down the group, if you consider size is increasing, what does it mean? MH bond length. What is happening to MH bond length? MH bond length increases. If MH bond length is increasing in the sense, MH bond strength, bond becomes weaker now if length increases. So if bond strength decreases, if MH bond strength decreases, then thermal stability decreases. Thermal stability decreases. So the order of thermal stability can be taken as H2O greater than H2S greater than, sorry, somewhere, wait. Fine. Yeah, correct. H2S greater than H2SE, H2TE. It is the order can be given for thermal stability. Okay, please copy it. So we'll be continuing that. Next, acidic character.
So 1 minute, can you show your
Yeah.
previous slide?
Pure JNG. Next, we are going to talk about acidic character of these hydrates, which is very, very important for any competitive exams as well as for board exams also. So if I take H2M, dissolved it in water, so it can dissociate as H plus and MH minus. Any substance which gives H plus ion is said to be an acid. And that MH minus, it can furtherly dissociate and then it can form H plus and M2 minus. It is giving 2 protons, hence our H2M, our group 16 element hydrate, can be considered as diprotic acid. Can be considered as diprotic acid, substance which gives H plus ion easily. Substance which gives H plus ion easily can behave as a stronger acid. But we know that size increases, MH bond length increases, so MH bond strength decreases. MH bond strength decreases. If MH bond strength decreases, then acidic nature increases. Acidic nature increases because it can give H plus ion easily. Whereas bond strength is decreasing, it can give H plus ion easily. So here, if you observe that order down the group, acidic character increases. So H2O less than, H2S less than, H2SC less than, H2TE. That means it is weakly acidic. It's a strong acid. It is a strong acid. And as per organic chemistry also, we know that acidic strength is directly proportional to Ka. Ka means dissociation constant. So which has, sometimes they will ask you which has I value of dissociation constant. So H2TE, which is having I Ka value. Whereas H2O, which has low Ka value. H2TE has I Ka value, H2O has a low Ka value. Based on Ka value also, experimental determination also, if you observe it, H2TE is stronger acid and H2O is the weaker acid. It is about acidic character, we can say that. Next we have reducing nature. Next we have reducing nature. Reducing nature, if you observe it, down the group, if you go down the group, this reducing nature, down the group, reducing nature increases. Reducing nature increases. So the order, if you consider it, hydrates of all elements, okay, they can behave as reducing agent, but except water. Except water. So I can write it as H2S is a weak reducing agent, less than H2SC, less than H2T. So we are missing the H2O here. As H2O is a weak reducing agent, that will not be included. So order can be given it as H2S less than, H2SC less than, H2TE. So this is the order of the reducing character can be given. Right. Now second one, reaction with the oxygen. Reaction with oxygen. That means formation of oxides. formation of oxides. Group 16 element, when they react with oxygen, they can form two types of oxides, trioxides and dioxides, of course. Dioxides, I can give it as MO2. Trioxides, I can give it as MO3. Okay. MO2 dioxides type, MO3 trioxides type. If I give it for oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium, here oxygen itself is a major element involved in formation of oxides. That's why we won't take it here. SO2, SeO2, TuO2, PoO2. But we don't have PoO3. Why? PO oxidation state in PoO3 is +6. That is less stable compared to +4 due to inert pair effect. That's why PoO3 is less known for us. Oxygen MO3 type is O3. Combines with another oxygen, let us say it forms ozone. SO3, SeO3, TuO3. But most prominent oxides are of sulfur. Sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, which are more prominent for us as per the syllabus, as per the entrance point of view, examination point of view. First, we'll talk about dioxides.
Sir, but MO plus O2 gives O.
Dioxides, sulfur, if I take it, S8 plus 8O2, giving rise to 8SO2. Simply by burning of sulfur, which gives sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide is the most prominent dioxide we have, in which oxidation state of sulfur is +4. In which oxidation state of sulfur is +4. And now if you observe the structure, there is a lone pair. Now if you write the resonance structure of it, it is the resonance structure of SO. Can you find any difference there between these two resonance structures? By observing
No,
those,
sir, but oxygen's lone pairs may be different.
that is also the same only. But how can you find the difference? Observe it carefully. It is sigma, 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 sigma. But this pi, it is p pi bond. But this pi, p pi d pi bond. This pi, p pi d pi now interchanged, delocalized. So now this pi becomes p pi, p pi. A very, very important point for SO2. SO2 molecule has how many p pi bonds? In the sense, one p pi bond and one p pi d pi bond. One p pi bond and one p pi d pi bond. Now Chetan might ask me, sir, how this p pi or p pi d pi bond can be formed? I am taking Chetan as an example for anyone, generally I am telling you, right? Observe it carefully. Sulfur, atomic number 16, neon 3s2, 3p4. 3d is 0. One electron, if it is promoted to 3d, then it becomes first excited state configuration. Then it becomes first excited state. So in first excited state, 3s has 2 electrons. 3p has how many electrons? 3 electrons. 3d has how many electrons? 1 electron has been promoted, so 1. So these 2 electrons are responsible for the formation of 2 sigma bonds. This electron, which is given over there, which can form which bond? P pi bond, because it is present in p orbital and p orbital of oxygen. This electron is responsible for the formation of which
P pi
bond?
d pi.
P pi d pi bond. That means d orbital of sulfur, p orbital of oxygen can overlap. Oxygen do not have d orbitals. D orbital comes from sulfur, p orbital comes from oxygen. So p pi d pi bond. That's why it has one p pi bond and one p pi d pi bond. And the bond angle, I do not have space here, that's why theta is equal to around 119.5 degree. This is the lone pair that you can observe it on the top. On the apex of the sulfur, you can observe that lone pair. And hybridization, how many sigma are there? 2 sigma, 2 lone pair. Steric number is 4. So hybridization is sp3, supposed to have a shape of tetrahedral. But
Sir, one lone pair is only there, no, sir.
So you represented one lone pair. 2 lone pairs should be there.
just wait. It is one lone pair. Sorry. It is one lone pair. Please correct it. It's pen mistake. Okay.
Yes, sir.
2 sigma and 1 lone pair. Hybridization.
SP2. Sir.
Yeah, SP. I did not know this. The overlook. Fine. Hybridization is sp2. So suppose you have planar geometry, but it is having angular geometry. It is having angular geometry. SO2 is having angular shape. sp2 hybridization. One p pi, one p pi d pi, and one lone pair of electrons present. And how this p pi and p pi d pi bond is formed also can be represented over there. It's a very important, especially for SO2 SO3, number of p pi, number of p pi d pi bonds. They can ask you as numerical value type questions. I can assure you that definitely. And in the upcoming weekend examination also. Please go through it. Please change that. Steric number is not 4, it is 3. 2 sigma, 1 lone pair. Please change that.